absolutely love this intro of our Virgin Galactic Friday series. And if you want to not miss the next big thing, like we were early on Tesla stock and now on space stock, make sure to subscribe and check out x10masterclass.com, my online course where I'm explaining how to find this kind of stocks and also lifetime access to my Discord channel. So let's dive into those topics today. We will talk about the space stock performance. We will talk about the stock chart if we see any trends. Then I would like to dive into, the short interest, the Wall Street bets, potential picking up space as one of the main stocks. And then finally, we will talk about the 12th of February test flight window open. I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. I cannot wait, guys. There's days or nights I cannot really fall asleep because those crazy Virgin Galactic days. But this is just the beginning because you can still be very, very early. Guys, if you're following this channel for a long time, you know that we had a hell of a ride for the last 6 months. 183% over the last 6 months, and it was a roller coaster, right? I mean, back in September, October, we went up, then down, then up again towards the end of the year, and then went down again, but never went back to those 17 levels where we started to buy. And now we are scratching the $60 mark before the test flight. This is absolutely insane, guys. And before we diving into what the space stock did last week, let's do the following, guys. I'm very, very active also on Twitter and on Instagram. So if you are not following me yet, make sure to do that because I'm posting there almost, hourly things and updates and breaking news about Virgin Galactic. So if you are interested in the company and also want to know the breaking news at your fingertips, make sure to follow me there, Twitter and Instagram, okay? Do that. So let's dive into the stock of Virgin Galactic, 22.6%. And there is some kind of correlation between GameStop and space here already, but we will talk about it later in the category where we will talk about the short squeeze and Wall Street bets and everything. I want to just emphasize that we are now a $13 billion company, more than that, right? 13.5 almost. And I believe that's maybe a fair valuation, but still undervalued for the potential that the company has. So if you are asking me, because I get these messages, I get these comments, are you still buying? Should I buy? There is no right time to buy a stock. There's only continuously and always checking and researching about the company if there's changes in the fundamental story, okay? So as long as everything goes according to the plan, right, with the test flight and so on, then there's no changes and the stock can continue this absolutely crazy ride. I mean, just over the pace of the last months, we did 140%. So keep that in mind. We were early here and it's just the beginning. I feel personally that we are now with Virgin Galactic where Tesla was with the prototype of the Model S, guys, okay? So you can imagine that, there's a lot of potential, though you have to understand that obviously it's very, very risky to invest in such an early company because, it can at any point of time lose half or more of the value. So just be aware of that. Let's dive into the stock chart. Guys, as you can see here in the stock chart, my, let's say, predictions that I actually had for Virgin Galactic stock were way overwhelmed through all of that. And you can also see that a couple of trends were broken. But let's start with the basics. So a couple of days or weeks ago, we talked about that there's two resistance, okay? One here around 35 and the other one at 38. And actually I thought that, the stock could bounce on and off this resistance, then go, with news through this resistance and then, go to maybe 40 in March. But this is absolutely craziness. I mean,
Here you can see that the stock broke out through all the resistance, then it had a nice run up to that trend line that we had here, broke through that as well, went a little bit down, and then here's in a totally different level. Okay, so what does it mean? What can we see here? So first of all, we are here in the Bollinger Bands, out of the Bollinger Bands actually. So and together with the RSI here on a little bit higher level. So yes, it's a little bit overbought, it can pull back a little bit, but as of this recording, which is Thursday before the market opens, you see even the stock going up 1.54%. I expect that, towards the end of the week could be a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit of a profit taking, right? Because people will say, hey, I made 20%, I made 30%, and now I will want to go and save my profit into the weekend, because who knows what will happen with the stock after the test flight, right? And then we still have next week for the whole test flight anticipation, and then it's game time, guys. The 12th of February is actually, let me have a look, this which kind of weekday is that? It could be Friday, so it could be still during market hours, but it could be also Saturday or Sunday on Valentine's Day. I will be live on Twitch. I will share the Twitch link in my YouTube stories, in my Instagram stories, on Twitter as well. So if you want to experience the next test flight with me live, then make sure to follow me on all of those channels. So yeah, other than that, you cannot really say much. Obviously the 50 moving average, the 200 moving average, everything went a little bit higher. The 50 moving average, which usually is a nice resistance, is now at 30. The mid of Bollinger Band is about 36. Then you have this two resistance here. So I don't expect the stock price to go below 40 in the next couple of days, and maybe this will also hold the stock here if it should go in the other direction. So here, in the next days, 50, 55, 57 should be maybe a resistance nicely here for the stock. Let's see. Definitely interesting how everything can play out. You can also, a little bit work on that. So for example, we can let me put this here. All right, and then let's draw a trend line here, so to see where the stock could go potentially. So if we say this is a trend, okay, let's assume this is a trend, then we could see the following. Let me put this to the side and put here a very narrow story. So here, if the madness goes further on, we could trade in this channel, and then this would mean that if we stay in the craziness, we can go even higher here in the next couple of days until the 17th of February, for example, to go up to 75, 80 levels if we follow this trend. It could be this trend, but I think that the probability for that is not that high, so let's see what's happening. It's a great volumes, as you can see here, very big and very green, which also helps the stock to hold this kind of level. So let's dive into the next topic.
So we talked about the potential that Wall Street Bets is jumping on another stock, and this stock could be space. This would give us a short-term push, but also awareness about the stock. Even though maybe GameStop, even when you're holding and, I support the movement and everything, but still at some point, the sale or the amount of people that are buying newly into GameStop is, decreasing. Now, still, everybody knows the stock, and this is a very important thing to understand, important for the stock, because as soon as it gets a re-momentum, a second wave, for example, then people can start to jump again on this, because they know, oh, whoa, this happened at the last time, so maybe this is now the second chance I got, so I will get in. Now, to understand what happened with GameStop, it was a movement. they had an enemy, which was the hedge funds. They had like a leader, which was DPR, right? The guy with the kitten t-shirt and the bandana on the head. Then you had, one goal to, destroy the hedge funds, to get rich, right? And all of that came as a movement, and you see this kind of movements can happen in politics, it can happen in the social media, but generally, fundamentally, I believe it's social media that is pushing this asset prices. I mean, look at Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, right? He jumped on day trading during the pandemic, or for example, Logan Paul jumping on the Pokemon cards and the assets doubling. You can see the power of social media really now going through these new areas of investing, and they, like pirates, now jumped on the stock market, which is interesting because so many people now jumping on it. But it's more interesting that they are watching this kind of videos to get really educated. And if you want to get educated on the stock market, go on X10 Masterclass. You get even a discount code 10 space for 10% off just for a short time, because Virgin Galactic is going crazy and I want to give something back. So go for it, and you will learn things like the following. For example, if to understand if a stock is picking up when Wall Street bets, there is, for example, the very nice interesting function on StockTwits, which is going and open the application. Then you can search here for a ticker symbol. As you can see, I researched already a space. And then you have a couple of, mentioning in social media and posts and so on. And here by top stonks, they are actually, looked that the space is one of the most mentioned ticker symbol on Wall Street bets, and if you are opening that, then you will see that they put together a statistic. So you can see here that actually the interest of space is growing. They counting the comments where space is mentioned, right? So you can see there's definitely some spikes over the last couple of days here, specifically 3rd and 2nd of February. The last time we had this kind of spikes was somewhere here beginning of February, and then also the recent spike with 66 comments was also on the 28th of January. And then you have different kind of websites. Also here you can see peaks of mentioning, but there's even a nicer one to see the overall interest into Virgin Galactic. If you go on Google Trends, then you can see here that the trend is definitely picking up since the 20th of December. You see more and more people looking for the stock, more and more people looking for the company, and this is always a good sign that there is a momentum going on. So I believe that we need definitely the test flight to go even higher, and I can't wait to do that with you. So let's dive into the test flight discussion. Okay, while we still need a couple of seconds before we diving into the test flight, I want to just emphasize that you heard it here first. Over the weekend, we saw the leaked information on Reddit that there's an Italian podcast, a pilot talked about that Monday will be the reveal day, and it happened. You heard it here first, so it's really considered to subscribing if you want to have just one source of information for Virgin Galactic. And if you are looking into my updated, just a couple of hours ago, I updated the new catalyst list for Virgin Galactic, which is, I think, very important. So first of all, I think, the successful test flight on the 12th of February, or maybe the 13th or 14th, whatever the weather conditions are telling us, is the main driver for further gains for Virgin Galactic, okay? Logically, I mean, think about it. We all waited for that, and now it needs to happen, all right? Secondly, I think there's a potential customer surprise increase into the 25th of February when the Q4 numbers will be released. Then we have a big event, or not event, but maybe a nice reveal of the second spaceship in February as well. So the February is fully packed, okay? The February could be a very strong month for Virgin Galactic. Then we're diving into the March. And this is the months where ARK Invest are launching the space exploration ETF, which is ARKX. And this would be another driver because I'm thinking that they will buy definitely a lot of Virgin Galactic stocks, and this will be definitely a driver. Then we should maybe in March know about the next test flight window, and then April hopefully the Richard Branson flight. But the second, and this is so important to understand, the second test flight now after the first one was aboard is so important because as of today Virgin Galactic is an event-based company in terms of the valuation of the stock, okay? So think about it. For Tesla it was in the more mature version of the company when they had already like $18 billion of revenue, which was 2019. They had like this continuously stress of small things that need to work out, right? Ramping of Model 3, Gigafactory in China, and so on. So they had many puzzle parts, okay? For Virgin Galactic, because they're in such an early stage, you have these big events, right? And these crazy events that weigh on the stock price if the event is good or bad, right? So you have to understand that this is still very early, guys. It's very volatile. It can happen anytime, and we saw that in the early days of Amazon, early days on Tesla. This stock anytime can go half the price, but it also can go double the price. So that's the beauty. I'm here for the long term. I don't care what the price is in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I just care what's happening in the next couple of years, and as soon as they are executing as I think they will, as more wealthier we get automatically. So it's a win-win situation, and I hope you are on board as well. Think about it. I'm definitely not giving any financial advice, and I wish you the best weekend that you ever had.